A Buddhist story on Queen of Dogs and the Neem tree's orchard. There lived a wealthy man who was proud of the orchard of neem trees in his garden. These beautiful trees served many purposes, including providing delightful shade in the summer heat. The man would often walk in the orchard and feel at peace with himself. But a constant nagging thought about the safety of his precious orchard affected the man deeply, so much so that he built a high wall with locked gates and several servants to protect them. One day the man left his palace for a village festival. In order to protect the man's prized possessions, the dutiful servants locked the doors behind him. But to the dismay of the man, the next morning, after his return from the village festival, he found that his younger neem plants had been torn apart. On careful examination, he found that the harmed trees had dog teeth marks. He was certain his well-behaved and beloved pet dogs could not commit this sacrilege act. In a fit of anger and irrationality, he suspected that village dogs were responsible. He decided to punish every dog in the village. A word was quickly sent out to the villagers that they would be handsomely rewarded for bringing in village dogs to the man. Meanwhile, the kind birds sitting on top of the neem trees also heard the proposed action, and they flew to inform the Queen of Dogs about the impending doom. The Queen of Dogs was a black beauty with wisdom and steely resolve. She gathered all the village dogs and asked if any of them had done it. Puzzled, all the dogs replied in negative. Strengthened knowledge of the innocence of her community, she regally walked towards the man's palace. Her walk and eyes displayed such emotion that villagers sulked away out of fear of the unknown towards this determined queen. As the queen reached the palace gates, the servants, as if hypnotized, opened the palace gates. The queen was indeed bright, for she knew that in order to succeed, she had to flatter the rich man. She reached the man and said, "O Lord of the palace and the beautiful neem gardens, you are a wise and kind man, aren't you?" The flattered man replied that believed it to be true. The queen then proceeded to say, "Oh, dear owner of the beautiful neem garden, if I were to prove that the village dogs are innocent, would you let them live?" The man hesitated for a moment and pointed to the queen that the young plants had dog teeth marks, which proved that the village dogs were behind this vile destruction. But the queen appealed to his reasoning abilities and got him to agree on this request. In addition, she got the man to agree to his dogs being questioned by the queen. The wise queen asked the dogs humorous questions one after the other. This led them to roll in laughter. But an interesting thing happened. The dogs laughed and spewed neem leaves, barks, and seeds. The man now realized his mistake and apologized to the queen. He was puzzled about what led the queen to conclude that it's his pet dogs that were responsible for the destruction. The queen wisely replied that it was man's anger that kept him from thinking clearly. She wisely remarked that, "When you lock others out, you lock yourself in." The man, now filled with humility, accepted his mistake and made corrections in his behavior. The orchard was thrown open and graciously shared with the village people and its animals. It's worth learning from the Queen of Dogs that decisions made in anger are rarely wise.